All right, this is part 2 of a lesson on solving rational equations. Okay, we have a little factoring to do. This will be n and then n plus 8. Same here. Okay, I see n plus 8 over here as well. I could factor this and make 2 times n minus 8. But that doesn't really cancel anything, so there's no point in that right now. So, focusing on the denominators, the only two factors I see in the denominator are n plus 8 and n. So that is what I'm going to multiply by. N times n plus 8. Okay, let's see what cancels. In the first fraction, the n plus 8's cancel, but I still have n. So that gives me n equals. In the second fraction, the entire denominator cancels out, but that still leaves 1. Or you can think of it as anything divided by itself is 1. In the third fraction, again, the whole denominator cancels out, but that still leaves this. Now, be careful. See this minus sign? It's going to have to be distributed. Okay, so that's going to make negative 2n plus 16. All right, the most common mistake is students leaving this as a negative 16. So, like terms right here, so that's negative 2n plus 17. Now I need to get these n's together, so I'm going to add 2n to both sides. So that'll give me 3n is equal to 17. So when I divide by 3, I get the final answer. N equals 17 over 3. Now, let's go back and talk about restrictions or excluded values. Because of the factor of n plus 8, I know that n cannot equal negative 8. And because of the factor of n, I know that n cannot equal 0. Okay, so that was it for number 6. All right, there's a GCF here. I can pull out the x and leave 5x plus 6. Okay, so sort of replace that. And here I can do the same. Okay, so that's been replaced. Once I look at it this way, the only factors I see in denominators are x and 5x plus 6. So that's what I will multiply by. Okay, now the 5x plus 6 will cancel out, but that's going to leave me with 3x from the first fraction. In the second fraction, the entire denominator cancels out, but I still got 7. And similarly, in the third fraction, the entire denominator cancels out, but I still have 4. So subtracting 7 from both sides gives me 3x is equal to negative 3. And then dividing both sides by 3, I get x equals negative 1. Okay, looking at the restrictions, I see 2 restrictions coming. Because of the factor of x, I know that x cannot be 0. Now, because of the factor of 5x plus 6, I know that 5x plus 6 cannot equal 0. Subtracting 6 from both sides tells me that 5x cannot equal negative 6. And then dividing both sides by 5, that tells me that x cannot equal negative 6/5. All right, that was number 7. All right, we've got a little bit of factoring to do. GCF, x minus 2, x minus 2. Okay, so these have now been replaced. So, I see only two different factors, x and x minus 2. So that's what I'm going to multiply by. All right, let's see what cancels. In the first fraction, the x cancels, but that leaves me with the 5 and the x minus 2, so I will distribute that, and that's going to make 5x minus 10. In the second fraction, the entire denominator cancels out, but that will still leave 1. So minus 1 equals, and again, the third fraction, the entire denominator cancels out. That leaves me as x plus 5. Like terms right here, so I've got 5x minus 11 equals x plus 5. We have x's on both sides, so let's get them together by subtracting x on both sides. So that'll be 4x minus 11 is equal to 5. Let's add 11. So that'll give me 4x is equal to 16. And divide by 4. So that'll give me x equals 4. All right, let's take a look at the restrictions. All right, x cannot equal 0 or positive 2. All right, so that's the solution for number 8. All right, by the way, I apologize that my voice is so quiet and sleepy. I am on the verge of losing my voice. Too much talking and not enough sleep, as usual. All right, we have to factor these things. So, the only factors I see are k plus 1 and k minus 1. So that's what I'm going to multiply by. All right, let's see what cancels out. In the first fraction, the k plus 1s cancel out, but that still leaves k minus 1. In the second fraction, the entire denominator cancels out, but that still leaves 2. So minus 2 equals. And in the third fraction, the entire denominator cancels out, but that still leaves 3. Combining like terms, I give k minus 3 equals 3. And then we would add 3 to both sides. So k is equal to 6. All right, take a look at the excluded values. All right, k cannot equal -1, k cannot equal +1 because of the two factors. All right, that's the solution to number 9. All right, number 10, GCF. Okay, all right, these have now been replaced. So the only factors I see are n and n minus 4. So that's what I'm going to multiply by. Okay. In the first fraction, the n's cancel out. That still leaves 7 and n minus 4, and I will distribute that. So that will give me 7n minus 28 equals. In the second fraction, the entire denominator cancels out. So that still leaves 2n minus 4. All right, in the third fraction, again, the entire denominator cancels out, but that still leaves -1. These are like terms, that makes -5. When we have the variable on both sides, you want to get them together. So that makes 5n minus 28 is equal to -5. We would then add 28 to both sides. All right, that is 23. And then we would divide both sides by 5. So n is equal to 23/5. Now let's go back and look at the excluded values. All right, the factor of n tells us that n cannot be 0. The factor of n minus 4 means n cannot equal +4. So n cannot equal 0. N cannot equal +4. All right, so that is how you do number 10. And that is the end of the lesson. I hope it was helpful. I will see you on the next video.